It's up to you, New York, New York.
How we doing, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast here on YouTube. I am your host, Richie. With me, my co-host, Mr. Idris Salam, a.k.a. Bosco from the Bronx. How you doing, brother?
Hey, what's up, y'all? We're chilling at my mansion in Florida. You see, I got my pool in the back. So, don't pay attention to that guy over there in the corner. He's out here to clean the pool.
On today's show, we're going to be hitting on the AFC West Preview, 2026 version AFC West Preview. Idris, get comfortable on this side. I'll go over here because I'll stand it up for a little while. We are worried about the lighting a little. I'm going to let Idris get where he's at. All right. We're too close to each other, bro.
Yeah.
If you want to post here, I'm going to take the room.
Okay.
Or vice
Yeah.
versa.
Yeah. Yeah. We're trying to get it together, everybody. Yeah, I'm at my mansion, y'all. So, still working on the lighting around here. It's not really a mansion. It's my little house down here in Florida. I usually come down here during the summertime, get away from the Carolina, you know, stuff up there. So, yeah, check out my pool. Yeah, I got a baby pool too. Look at that.
All right. So the AFC West, Idris,
Hmm.
you got a Raiders team that had the number one overall pick. They pick up Fernando Mendoza, definitely a key cog for the future of the organization, as you know as well as I do. The most
Hmm.
important position in the NFL is the
Yep.
quarterback position. Daisy, get inside the room with me. Come on. I'm going to keep her in here with me. Yeah, my parents are watching my dog, so it's been a lot of craziness, as I was at a resort for fantasy weekend.
Yeah.
All right, but Fernando Mendoza, Ashton Genty trying to build on last year. Got one of the better tight ends in Brock Bowers. But this is a team that's just trying to find stability, as it's been a
Hmm.
very long time since the Raiders have had that. You have a Kansas City Chiefs team that, after it seems like going to the AFC title game every damn year, last year took a significant step back, which was a year after getting their doors blown off by the Philadelphia Eagles. Last year they missed the playoffs. Patrick Mahomes had a bad knee injury, and everything kind of fell down and fell apart for them. Los Angeles Chargers, a playoff team for sure, a talented team for sure, but what really did them in was the dual injuries on the offensive line to Joe Alt as well as Rashawn Slater, as Justin Herbert took a beating last year, not just in
Yeah.
that Patriot game, but towards the end of the season. He was getting hit too frequently, not what you want. Denver Broncos
Yeah.
also had a quarterback injury after defeating the Buffalo Bills in dramatic overtime fashion. Bo Nix was injured late in that game. Jared Stidham had to start for the rights to go to the Super Bowl. And unfortunately, Sean Payton was outcoached by his counterpart, Mike Vrabel. But the Broncos are so very close. The Chiefs are not that far removed from being the team. And truthfully, this really is anybody's division to win outside of the Raiders. I think we could all attest to the fact that the Raiders are still very much in rebuilding mode. But that's where we start. We go from the bottom to the top. So we're going to start with the Las Vegas Raiders. And just bear with me. I'm going to be pulling up a little picture for them. There it is, folks. That's Max Crosby. He really didn't get traded. He almost did. It was a weird offseason coming in. But they finished last in the AFC West in 2025. They actually played our Giants in the game that was billed the Toilet Bowl, you know, the rights to get the number 1 overall pick. Ultimately, the Raiders were in heavy tank mode. These are their player additions. Left tackle Spencer Buford, quarterback Kirk Cousins, linebacker Nakobe Dean, center Tyler Linderbaum, formerly of the Ravens, linebacker Quay Walker, edge Kwity Paye, edge Malcolm Kuntz. I think that's a second-generation Kuntz because I remember George Kuntz from the Packers. Noah Brown, formerly of the Commanders. You got linebacker Buddy Johnson. Dar Agumbowale, I think I pronounced that right. Tight end Ian Thomas.
Yeah.
Benito Jones, the interior defensive lineman. Connor Hayward, the tight end. So you guys are getting an idea of what they did free agency-wise. Give you a couple of player losses. Kenny Pickett, smallest quarterback hands in the league. Stone Forsythe, he went to the Panthers. Daniel Carlson, a longtime kicker, now kicking for the Saints, still endorsed. Lonnie Johnson is a Dolphin. Landon Roberts is a Steeler. Jamal Adams was injured. He's out for the year, more than likely. He's a Viking, but he's hurt. Former Giant Darnay Holmes is a Falcon. Wide receiver Alex Bachman is a Ram. Zamir White, 49ers. Devin White, Lions. So just letting the viewers see what happened here. And I'll post their draft class. Give you a second, Idris, to absorb the Raiders draft class. And we'll speak on how we feel this team stacks up and if they can get some games. And we're also going to talk about their schedule. So, Idris, just based on their draft class, what do you see and what do you like?
They address the quarterback position. And that's the main thing because, you know, they've had so many problems with quarterbacks, you know, Derek Carr. You know, now they got Kirk Cousins as a backup, which I kind of thought he would be the starter until they brought someone else in. But, you know, they're going to draft Mendoza. But I think they got a good backup in Kirk Cousins, you know. So I think they shored that up. I think a running back, you know, Genty, I think he'll have another good year. Last year, you know, rookie. But it's good to have a backup. I think they'll do pretty good. They're in a tough division, man. Because the top three, Chiefs, Chargers, Broncos, you know, anyone could win that division at any time. And I think with the Chargers, and we'll get to the Chargers, I think they're the ones who you don't know what they're going to do, but you know they're going to bring it. But you just don't know when and how. So with the Raiders, I think it'll be another last place finish, but I feel they'll be better than they were last year. I think we'll see a much improved team.
All right, we're going to post their schedule so that your thoughts can match some reason based on their schedule. So I'm going to pull that up now. That is their schedule. Week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 look particularly brutal, if you ask me. You know, that Charger team, they played them twice this year. Patriots are a tough one. Buffalo's a tough one. The Rams, I'll be honest, I would not be the least bit surprised if they don't get a dub until possibly that Jet game, unless if they win opening day.
I'm with you, man. And even though Mendoza have looked good in the short time he's played, you know, preseason games, when the live stuff starts, it's a whole different game. And what he saw in preseason won't look nothing like what he'll see in the regular season, especially week 1. Then week 2,
tend to agree.
Week 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And even with the Jet game, you know, that still might be a tough one, defensive-wise. So
I think they could beat the Cardinals. They've had a propensity for
yeah,
beating the Chiefs at least once in recent memory. The
yeah,
old AFC West rivals, it's an interconference game
mhm,
now. The Seattle Seahawks, tough one there. Anybody that's not a fluid offense, they have a chance against. Like, for instance, Cleveland. Yeah, anybody could beat
yeah,
Cleveland any
yeah.
given week. The Jets, the,
Oh
the,
yeah,
the Cardinals,
yeah,
the Titans.
yeah.
Um,
I
will
don't
the
know about the
Chief game
Titans.
matter? Will the Chief game
I think the
matter?
Titans might be better than you think. So
Yeah, I
what?
mean, I didn't pick them to
Say
finish
again?
last. I actually am picking the Colts to finish last in that division, which was somewhat unpopular. But
Hmm.
I'm taking a record of 4-13 here. Um, but another top five pick awaiting. But I think this is a team that, for the first time in a long time, is in the firm hands of a real quality leader, which is Fernando Mendoza. I also think that Kirk Cousins offers a good humility and a good script of how to be a legitimate pro. So in that regard, I do like the Kirk Cousins pickup. Well, I don't think he'll be playing much. I think he could play a good role of mentor. Kirk is one of the real good guys in the NFL, so that's how I see that moving. 4-13, my final for the Raiders. Win loss totals. How do you see it?
4-13.
All right, we agree there. We're gonna move it along to our next team. No stranger to the Super Bowl in the past decade, a team that was constantly in it. People are trying to figure out if last year was the beginning of the end or if last year was just an aberration due to the injuries. Time will reveal that. But we're going to be
Hmm.
talking about the Kansas City Chiefs next. That's Patrick Mahomes. If he were to retire tomorrow, he's already a Hall of Famer, one of the more decorated
Yeah,
quarterbacks in today's NFL. And truthfully, in NFL history, the man already has hoisted 3 Lombardis. He's played in 5 Super Bowls. And I'll be honest with you. I like what this team did in terms of just player movement and also
yeah,
in the draft. They were third last year in the AFC West. They missed the playoffs. I already said that. Here are some additions. You got Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker.
yes,
That is a terrific, terrific pickup. You got the future Hall of Famer Travis Kelsey, who opted to play another year. Jack Cotrain, the linebacker. These are good players. The one that I'm really a fan of is L'Jarius Sneed coming back. I thought
yeah,
he was a huge loss when he left, a big cog in
yeah.
their Super Bowl wins. Kair Elam, another gamer, good ball player on the defensive side of the ball. This is who they lost. Gardner Minshew, he's going to be backing up Carson Beck as well as Jacoby Brissett. We'll see how that plays out. Juwan Taylor, Leo Chanel is a commander. Hollywood Brown is an Eagle. Your cousin has the pleasure of working with Hollywood Brown now.
Hmm.
We've got safety Brian Cook, cornerback Jalen Watson, tight end Robert Tunyon Jr. Many might remember him as a fantasy hero a couple years back with the Packers.
Hmm.
Running back Isaiah Pacheco is now with the Detroit Lions. Um, I uh, I like the veteran add-ons. I think Kenneth Walker is the bell cow because I think the attempt at the two-back system with Pacheco and Hunt could only go so far. I have a feeling Travis Kelsey is going to be reinvigorated because this could very well be his final year in the
Yeah.
NFL. And before we hit on the draft class, what are your thoughts in terms of the roster? I think defensively they still have a solid team, and I think Steve Spagnuolo is still one of the more brilliant minds of any and all
Hmm.
defensive coordinators. Andy Reid's obviously a phenomenal coach. What do you think? Oh, and Bieniemy's
Yeah,
back too.
yeah, yeah. I'm going to say that. I think they lost. I think they lost a lot on defense. But I think that offense, like in the past, with Spags, Spags know how to put a defense together. So a big loss on one team is not a big loss for Spags. So I think he'll have that defense no matter who he has on the field running. And with Sneed back veteran, he knows Sneed knows the Kansas City organization. So I think with Sneed being on the field, things will be like, okay, this is how we do things. On offense, Kenneth Walker, that's like the best back Mahomes has had. And he's a four
Yeah,
down back.
yeah,
So
and it's not that close.
yeah,
I mean, when Kareem Hunt was young, maybe,
yeah,
but he never reached his full potential when he got in trouble. But yeah, Kenneth Walker. The only question with him is durability. Can he take a
Durability.
workload of being a every down guy that's going to have more
Yeah.
carries than he's ever had? In Seattle, although he was still the workhorse when it counted in the playoffs because of an injury to Zach Charbonnet, he still shared the ball and still had, kind of like a budget of how much punishment and how many carries he was going to get. But I really do think that Kenneth Walker, is going to be a top 10 fantasy back and he's going to have a hell of a year. I also think that Travis Kelsey is going to
Yeah.
take a step closer to the top
Yeah.
5 to 6 in fantasy relevance for the tight end position because it's his last stand. I think he's going to have like a nice little send-off year, similar to what Rob Gronkowski and Tony Gonzalez had, the other two great tight
Mhm.
ends that he often gets compared to. So I do feel good about this offense. If Rashee Rice stays healthy and has his head on straight, Xavier
Yeah.
Worthy, another capable guy. This is a team that can make a deep playoff run, not because I think they got
Yeah.
the best roster, but because coaching matters. And this team doesn't take
Yeah.
a backseat to too many in terms of their coaching from Andy Reid all the way down.
Yeah. Rice, Walker, Xavier Worthy. That's going to be a good triple threat. I mean, I know Rice will he can do a little bit of both. But I think that offense will be back, especially with Eric Bieniemy being back. Because their best years, their dominant years as champions was with Eric Bieniemy as the OC.
Absolutely.
So I think he'll be back to business as usual with these guys.
Yeah, I think that's a reasonable take. I'm going to show their draft class before we hit on the schedule.
Mhm.
Mansour Delane literally could be defensive rookie of the year, a
Yes.
great pick. Defensive tackle Peter Woods, a guy that could really get in there and stop the run game. Edge, Mason Thomas out of Oklahoma, another very good player. Jason Kennedy out of Oregon, the safety. Their first 4 picks are guys that can contribute right away. Now you look at a couple of developmental pieces in the running game, the passing game, but this is interesting. Garrett Nussmeier out of your favorite school, LSU. While I don't think he immediately comes into the league, even if it wasn't Kansas City and is like going to light the world on fire, I think he
Right.
is a guy that down the road could potentially be the next quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, Patrick Mahomes isn't ancient, but he's certainly not as young as some may think. And he has been through some brutal injuries, and he's played through a lot of injuries. So I think that Garrett
Yeah.
Nussmeier, at minimum, is an extension of the head coach. He's a very uh, smart young man, put up some great numbers at LSU, definitely capable of winning on the big stage. But I think
Mhm.
that it's a newer wave, too, that even when you have the answer at quarterback for the foreseeable future, even after rookie contracts for the guy backing him up, there is a
Mhm.
newer wave on certain teams to get the tutelage when you have a
Yeah.
superstar like a Mahomes. It was similar to what Favre and Rodgers. We've seen this with Romo and Dak. We've seen it with Eli and Danny Dimes. We've seen it around the league. Guys that are still in firm position of their job, but guys that have the
Mhm.
potential opportunity to take it down the road in the right nurturing manner. So
Yeah.
time will tell. But I like Garrett Nussmeier as a player. I saw my fair share of LSU games. What are your thoughts on this draft class?
I'm gonna tell you, got to watch out for Emmett Johnson out of
Hmm.
Nebraska. I mean, he's not going to get you 1,000 yards, but he's the type of guy who can relieve Walker and get in there and put up some yards. He can get you. He's good. He's good. Watch out for him. He'll be a good. He's going to be a good addition to that backfield because he has good hands. He runs pretty hard, and he's just keep an eye on him. They got him in the what, fourth round, fifth round. Um,
Yes, sir.
keep an eye on him. The guy's good. He's good. Not great, but he's a good cog. He's a good piece to put in that backfield.
Just give me 1 second, Idris. Uncle
Yeah.
Randy, hit that link that I'm putting on the screen right now, or type it in, and that should be able to take you in if you care to join us for a moment. That's my late father's best friend, Randy Rios, diehard Raider fan. So we'll see if he's able to join us.
Okay. Word. Come on
Quite
in.
some time. It's been quite some time, but Uncle Randy was on a show in the past. I'm over here
Mhm.
working the lighting because this is my old room back in the day. But for time reasons, we decided to record here at my family's house. We're gonna throw up
Yeah.
the KC schedule. I for one think that this is a team that should get back to the playoffs and potentially send a couple of people home just because of their playoff history, their playoff pedigree. All right,
I think
week
Eric
one.
Bieniemy. Oh yeah.
No, you
We
get
got
week one immediately. You get
right
tested,
out the gate.
Denver, right out the gate. Indeed. Um, ideally, you want the Chiefs, if you're a fan of them, to win one of the Denver games. I'm going to say
Yeah.
their best chance would actually be week one because they're home for it. So I say Denver still wins, but it'll be close. I think they beat the Colts. I think they beat the Dolphins. I think they beat the Raiders. I think they're 3-1 going into a very early bye week.
Hmm.
Um, whether it's in KC or LA, I think they're going to split with these Chargers during the course of the year. They're not beating the Seahawks. They'll ride on the Jets. They'll ride on the Falcons. You know what? The Falcons are a weird team. That'll be like the one game that they show up for. So take that back. That's an upset alert, trap game alert. They'll beat the Falcons. Is that game in Buffalo? Yeah. Is it a
Yeah.
playoff game? No. They'll lose to Buffalo. They may lose to the Rams. I have them beating the Bengals.
Hmm.
What am I seeing here? Possibly a loss to New England. I think they'll beat the Niners. I think we're looking at 11-6, 10-7. I'm gonna go 11-6 for this Chiefs team.
Hmm.
I do think that pack of games, starting with Buffalo and ending with the Chargers, could be a very tough stretch. They're all quality teams, but the Chiefs are going to win some of those games because the Chiefs are a quality team, despite the age factor and the changing of the guard factor. Give me 11-6, and I'm going to say a third place finish in a very competitive AFC West. 11-6, and they will qualify as a wild card.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 11. I'm gonna go 10-7, not because they're not good. I'm gonna go 10-7 because the AFC West, Denver, the Chargers, they're gonna play. It's good that they got Denver out the way, like within the first 8 weeks, because
100%.
now they said, yeah. So now, because they got a very early bye week, but they got probably the toughest competition in that division out the way. You know,
Decent
So
point.
yeah, I could see 11-6. I could see 10-7. I'm going to go 10-7, just based on what they got to go through, and the rest of the conference is not going to be a pushover when it comes to the top two, top three
Now, in your
teams. Oh,
opinion, will 10-7 be enough to make the playoffs in a very congested and competitive AFC?
good question. I think it will. I think it will because I think with the AFC East, um, they could get two. The South will get one. The East will get two, possibly. The South will get one. The North is the tricky one because you
Yeah.
got Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, and Baltimore.
Some
And
people
I
think
think,
Pittsburgh could be an 11-win team, and some people think they could be a
yeah,
6-win team, and then you're waiting
yeah,
for are the are the Bengals defensive additions going to really pay off, and
right.
are the Ravens
I'm
in
gonna
better
go.
hands in the post Harbaugh era?
I'm gonna go 11-6. I'm gonna shoot for 11-6. I don't
All
think they'll
right.
win a division, but I think 11-6 in the playoffs. Yeah, and watch out for them when they get in the playoffs.
And is your 11-6 good enough for second or third in that division?
I'm gonna go second. I
All
think they're
right.
gonna finish second anyway.
All right. Second place for the Kansas City Chiefs, according to Idris. I got them in third place, but we do have them with the same 11-6 mark. Okay, we're going to move it
Mhm.
along to our next team. We're going to be hitting on the Los Angeles Chargers, a team that kind of plays second fiddle, whether it's fair or not, to the Los Angeles Rams. I mean, the Rams have a richer history in terms of success, particularly more recently. But this
Mhm.
is a team that we're waiting for this guy, Justin Herbert, to take the next step. It's not all on him. They did lose to the Patriots in the wild card round last year, like I said at the top of the show. This is a guy that got brutalized. Um, but Coach Jim Harbaugh
Mhm.
is kind of predictable to a level, but you know what he expects.
Yeah.
But with the caveat that makes this team interesting is not just the head coach, because the head coach is more of a traditional guy where it's all about running the rock, high high efficiency, low risk passing game,
Hmm.
getting the tight ends involved, multiple running backs, multiple tight end sets. This is still on some metrics an unproven receiving room. They did bring in David Njoku, a guy who I like as
Hmm.
well. Um, Here, I'll put up some of these player additions while I keep, spitting here. But it's the Mike McDaniel effect that I think is going to elevate this Charger team to bigger relevance.
Hmm.
Mike McDaniel, while he
Yeah.
may not have been meant to be a head coach as he was fired by Miami, I think he has the tools to be a phenomenal coordinator. Takes a lot of pressure off of Harbaugh. Harbaugh kind of oversees more operations without having to be completely consumed with all of it. And I think Mike McDaniel has got a lot of wrinkles to unleash here, and I think he's going to do a hell of a
Yeah.
job. I'll be honest. This is a team that I think very well may win this division. I'm going to just go on record and say that the Chargers are going to finish an impressive 12-5, possibly
Ooh.
winning this division. I didn't even look at the schedule yet, and I'm telling you this. Some of the player losses, Keenan Allen recently arrested. He's a Colt now. Najee Harris is a Giant, getting back in shape. Tyler Conklin's a Lion. Just showing some of the losses here. And here's their draft. Akeem Messidor out of the U, Jake Slaughter out of Florida, Brennan Thompson out of Mississippi State, offensive tackle Travis Burke out of Memphis. That's a depth piece in case if Alt or Slater goes down again. Safety Genesis Smith out of Arizona, Nick Barrett, a very good run stopper from the Gamecocks. Round 6, Logan Taylor. I thought even deep into this, Alex Harkey out of Oregon, round 7 guard. That's a quality pick.
Hmm.
Um, I noticed in their draft, this team took taking the offensive line, fixing the offensive line rather serious because of their recent struggles. You know, they're tired of seeing Justin Herbert getting brutalized. They want to do their part in keeping one of the best talents in the NFL, but still questioned because he hasn't won a playoff game yet. But success when it happens, it can happen fast. Harbaugh is a winner. He got Alex Smith really close to the Super Bowl. He got CK7 to a Super Bowl. He didn't win his Super Bowl against his brother, but he's a hell of a coach. He was a hell of a leader when he was a quarterback in the league for Chicago and Indy. And I have a feeling that Harbaugh is up for the task to get this team, assuming health is on their side, get this team where they need to be. So, truthfully, I'm seeing 12-5, potentially the West champion before we get on Denver, and I'm going to show their schedule while I let Idris rebuttal what I'm thinking over here.
Um, I'm gonna go, man. It's Mike McDaniel, man. I mean,
Yeah,
young guy, Justin Herbert. He's gonna relate to the players because of
no
his
doubt,
age.
no doubt.
Oh man. Golly, dude.
3-0 out the gate. If you're going to get Buffalo,
Yeah,
you want to get them early.
you want to get him early.
Their first
I'm
loss will be to
gonna.
the defending champions
Yeah,
versus Denver. That's a toss up. I'll take the home team.
yeah,
Kansas City at Kansas City. I can see them splitting there.
yeah,
It's a home game against the Rams, but the Rams are going to be one of those teams that could flirt with perfection before they
yeah,
finally do slide. I can see a 2-game
yeah.
losing streak, modest, maybe 3-game losing streak between that bye
Mm,
week. I see them getting back on track against Baltimore. They'll beat the Jets. Patriot game, that's going to be personal because of the way their season ended last year. Don't be surprised if the Chargers
mhm.
win that one. Bucks and Raiders, they're both better than them. They're better than the Niners. I think they finished strong. Week 18, depending on what's going on with Denver, could be for the division. I'm going to say it is
Yeah,
for the division. Or
yeah.
if they are in the driver's seat at 12-5, am I ready? How am I going to approach this? I still factor in the cool weather. All right, 12-5, the best wild card in the AFC. Denver takes the division in the final game of the season at Mile High.
Oh man.
That's going to be that game's going to mean something in the final week of the season. I think Denver goes 13-4, whereas the Chargers go 12-5.
I'm going to change KC and put them 10-6 and put the Chargers 11. Change
I know what you
KC to
mean.
10. Yeah, and I'm gonna go
10-7.
11-6 for the Chargers. Yeah, 11-6 for the Chargers. Yeah, because the Mike McDaniel effect, man. I didn't think about that when we first started, and I think he's a trickster. And the Chargers had a lot of speed, and that plays in the Mike McDaniel's offense.
And you got to take into
Speed.
consideration that while he was putting up a shit ton of points with Tua Tagovailoa,
Yeah.
from a talent-based standpoint, has absolutely nothing on Justin Herbert.
And see, I'm glad you said that because see, Tua couldn't run because he had that injury risk to where Herbert can run bigger, stronger, more durable. So I think that's going to open up Mike McDaniel's offense a whole lot more because he can run.
Reasonable take. I think that's a
Yeah,
reasonable take.
I'm gonna go 11-6, man. I think Denver still takes the division, but who knows? The Chargers couldn't win it.
Denver's offense does have a propensity for sometimes going
Stalling.
into the toilet, but in a game that late in the year, weather and all that other stuff, this is a team that plays in beautiful conditions. I mean, not as great as when they were in San Diego, but still pretty mellow conditions. I'll take the team that's suited to play in the cold. I'll take the Denver Broncos. And speaking of those Broncos, last year they won the division. They also had the best record in the conference. And this is a team that got super close to the bowl.
Yeah.
Had a mass disadvantage when this guy wasn't playing, Bo Nix. But I do think that Sean Payton made some key mistakes in that AFC title game where even with their backup, they could have beaten the Patriots. They just didn't. They did have a big win over Buffalo the week before. When I think of defenses in this conference, there's a couple of good ones. I think New England's pretty damn good. But my two best defenses are this team and the Houston Texans. But when I think about who has the better quarterback of the two teams, it's that guy right there, Bo Nix.
Yeah.
Is better than C.J. Stroud as far as I'm concerned. I think Josh Allen's the best quarterback in the conference. But I think Bo Nix has the best situation and probably the best coach for the situation because Sean Payton's been there and done that with the likes of Drew Brees. I'm going to pull this up here, let you see their player additions or guys that were re-signed. Nothing really jumping off the page here. Dobbins is back again.
No.
The hope is that he stays healthy. Nothing off the page really flies off the player losses either.
No.
Dre Greenlaw is a 49er again. He was meant to never leave, really. But this is their draft class.
No.
Yeah, I'm going to let that go over the board for a second.
Yeah, I think with Denver, and with Sean Payton, I like how he drafts. He's literally someone who drafts for need. He's just not just grabbing. Yeah, he drafts for need. And I think
some guys stockpile one just the BPA all the time, but then you got key holes that you didn't fill. I get that.
Yeah, so he goes for what he needs and say this is what we're rolling with. So
right.
Yeah. The losses, Greenlaw and all of them. I think those are guys who I felt like you said, Najee Harris. Those are guys who came and went.
Sure.
They were one shot. So I don't think he really lost. And it's not to degrade Dre Greenlaw. He's a 49er. He's a 49er,
Right. Certainly. Look what happened to Debo 1 year out of Frisco. He's back.
Yeah, he's 49er. So, I mean, I think Sean Payton, he got those players. Like you say, like I said, Najee Harris with the Chargers. I think, you got these players, okay, they're going, let me bring in the guys that I want. Bring in my guy. So, yeah, Denver's going to be tough again. I think with Bo Nix, I just think he has to be more consistent, because he had some real high highs and some real low lows. And defense kept him in games, in a few games, But I think he'll learn from last year.
Sometimes you see those highs and lows in the same game because we've seen it with young quarterbacks. Caleb Williams will have the bad turnovers. Jordan Love, another guy that turns the ball over too much sometimes. but then they'll have those
Yeah.
big drives to win ball games. Bo Nix has been on all sides of the spectrum with that. We've seen him stink it up against the New York Giants, but then in the
Yeah.
second half and an OT, he just went berserk or late in the game.
Yeah.
And we've seen that more than a couple of times, or in games where they played the Raiders and it was like watching paint dry. He's still engineered enough to get them to win the ball game ultimately.
Yeah.
Um, I think this is a team that, by all accounts, barring a massive injury to Knicks again, should find themselves back in the conference championship. The question is, did Buffalo do enough to get there? Is New England for real enough to get there again?
Hmm.
Or how about those Texans? Do the Texans have enough? Keyshawn Butte, recent cut and pickup from the Patriots, or trade from the Patriots rather,
Hmm.
a guy that gets a huge opportunity as a number two. So these are questions that are
Yeah.
going to be answered in a very competitive AFC. And some people think the Steelers are going to be just bad because of Aaron Rodgers being too old, and maybe it's just too late. But there are others that feel that there's always one last punch. Does Burrow get the
Yeah.
Bengals back where they gotta go, considering that they
Yeah.
gave the defense a lot of love? And does Lamar Jackson thrive in a more open to his needs kind of offense with the departure of John Harbaugh, who I think is going to do a damn good job with the G-men? So these are all
Hmm.
questions that are going to be answered. But my prediction as of right now, and I'm going to release my final predictions on IG when we're done with all these shows. I got the Denver Broncos being in the Final Four of the NFL again, making the AFC Championship game. I'm not going to say if they win it yet, but that's where I'm at.
I'm with you. I'm with you. 'Cause one thing not Harbaugh. One thing Sean Payton has in Denver that he didn't have in New Orleans is like in New Orleans he had a high power offense. He had a average defense at best.
Yes, indeed.
Now in Denver, his defense is dominant. He
Right.
has the average offense is getting better. So once he gets that offense to where he wants that offense, that team is going to be hard to beat, dude.
I tend to agree.
Yeah, I'm going to
I
go.
do tend to agree.
I'm going to go 12-5 with them. I mean, the schedule. I mean, their schedule is coming pretty much like the rest of the AFC West. Um, but I'm going to go. I'm going to go 12-5 again. I think they could go 13-4, but I'm going to go 12-5 because I think the division is tougher. They might be 11-7. Them and the Chargers. I mean 11-6, but I'm going to go 12-5. At worst, 11-6.
We're going to get treated to a doozy week 3 when they play the Rams from a
When they
defensive
play the Rams.
standpoint.
Oh my
It's going to be a
goodness.
fun one. I said 13-4 when I was talking about the Chargers. I'm going to go 12-5, but I think they
Yeah.
still win this division
Yeah.
because they'll win that tiebreaker game.
Yeah.
12-5, sporting the same record as the Chargers, but I have them winning a tiebreaker.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at with that. And I think the difference is the Broncos will beat the Chiefs twice, whereas the Chargers will split with the Chiefs. That's how I'm going to let that ride.
Yeah.
And the one better game in the division will boost them to a division title. There's always a stinker for every good team and that loses to a team they're not supposed to. I'm
Yeah.
over here like running through the schedule and saying, where's the game that they're going to play down to the level of their competition? Of course, the Raider game would stand out as a possibility. Um, hmm. I'm going to say upset alert, trap game alert, before the bye week alert, Carolina Panthers, possibly. But I think this is a
I,
12-5 team. I think this is a Super Bowl caliber team, and I think this is a
mhm.
team that could do it.
I'm gonna say the Cardinals, man. I think that's gonna be the upset right there. I think they'll go to
Uh,
I think they'll go to Glendale and I think they'll over the Cardinals and lose. So,
I mean, anything's possible. That wouldn't be the game
yeah.
I'd pick, but any
Yeah.
given Sunday for sure. I think that when you think about this division and the other
Hmm.
division, that's the final division, the one in the NFC, Seattle, LA Rams, LA Chargers, Denver Broncos. It's weird. So you got the SoFi Super Bowl potential of a LA Super Bowl. You
Right.
also have the SoFi host as a potential for an all Texas Super Bowl. As much as we don't like the Cowboys, you do got to account that they did improve And of course, the Houston Texans are a team that some people think are the best team in Texas right now. Buffalo, their window is not quite closed. So people are trying to figure out if they can finally get there. I didn't like the coaching change. I don't think, not because
I didn't
McDermott was
either.
so great. I just didn't think it was the right time.
I didn't either.
I thought if they were going to fire him, it could have happened a year or two earlier, but we shall see. The trend in the NFL is when coaching changes happen to contending teams, the trend is that things actually work out more times than not. So
Yes. Yes.
that's an encouraging thing for teams like the Giants, teams like the
Mm-hmm.
Bills, teams that have either first-time head coaches or head coaches that are taking on that team as their
Mm-hmm.
first deal. That's why a guy like Robert Saleh and
Yep.
bringing OC Dable with him, that could work out. So there's a lot of possibilities. And then there's other situations where you're just like, ah, man, uh, Stefanski went to Atlanta. Good luck, So we shall see.
Stefanski has two left-handed quarterbacks that can't stay healthy.
Yeah, buddy. I couldn't agree more. That is a dumpster fire and a half. The Atlanta Falcons, I'll just go on record and say that they have the potential to be the worst team in the South, not the worst team in the conference, because I think that dubious distinction will ultimately go to the Arizona Cardinals. But football is almost all the way back. Side notes and thoughts. Um, Jalen Hyatt got dropped down to the New York Giants practice squad, but this is interesting. I read about this. By getting dropped to the practice squad, he no longer has ownership of any number that gets used in real games.
That's right.
Odell Beckham Jr. now has the ability to reclaim number 13 as he did make the main roster. And I do believe that that's the way that goes. I think Odell brings back the iconic 13, and
Mm-hmm.
I think he wears it well. And I think it's a great story, and I think it's going to end in a happy fashion, not necessarily with the Giants hoisting a Lombardi in year one of Harbaugh's era, but I do
Mm-hmm.
think Odell's going to end his career on a high note and maybe even gets invited for another season next year, God willing he's healthy. I think the neighbors' mentorship with Beckham, as they're both LSU Tigers, I think
Mm-hmm.
that's going to be beneficial. And I think Malachi Fields, out of my favorite university, Notre Dame,
Mm-hmm.
is going to do a hell of a job. And on the flip side, this is negative. I
Mm-hmm.
absolutely hate what the Cleveland Browns are doing, rewarding Deshaun Watson for doing nothing. Uh, Shador Sanders is getting played with. Dylan Gabriel's not that good, but yet they're figuring him to be somebody. It's a big shit show out in Cleveland. I don't blame Nick Chubb for hanging it up. And
Mm-hmm.
the great Jim Brown would be rolling over in his grave if he saw how terrible an organization that he truly loved, how irrelevant they are. New York Jets, definitely in the hunt for the tank job for Arch Manning. They will be in stiff competition with the Arizona Cardinals and the Miami Dolphins. If you ask me personally where Arch wants to go, I think Miami is the spot.
Yeah.
But don't be surprised. Remember when I told you, Idris, that if things don't go right for Indy, they could have a surprising, terrible season?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be something if nephew Manning goes to where Uncle Peyton
Yeah.
played? That would be interesting.
And we're number 18.
That would be, and being a family thing,
Yeah.
Peyton might actually let it go. But I think Arch will probably want to make his own legacy. But who knows? So yeah, watch out for that. But I think when I think about who's the worst team in the NFL, it's going to be between the Cardinals, the Jets, and the Dolphins. I really mean that. What else is on the brain?
I'm
I think
gonna go.
Tyreek.
I'm gonna go Jets, Dolphins, and Browns. I'm gonna tell you what. Yeah, I want to say something about the Browns right quick. Um, During the preseason, Dylan Gabriel is not that good, but he actually outplayed Shador and Deshaun Watson. He actually outplayed them, which is insane. He outplayed both of them.
And there's a
And him
lot of
getting a
variables because it also depends on who you're playing when you're on the field. Preseason can be very
yeah,
misleading.
yeah, true. And them giving him a 3 year, $149 million deal, it's damn near 50 million a year. I'm like, you gave this man almost $50 million a year.
The whole thing is a mess over there. I don't know what they're
It's
doing.
Cleveland. Cleveland being Cleveland.
Yeah, Cleveland's a hot
They
mess.
Cleveland, man. That's it.
Josh Jacobs, that's a bad situation. out in Green Bay. Marshawn Lloyd
Yeah.
is going to be a guy that gets drafted frequently. It was
Hmm.
kind of cool in my fantasy draft to see Odell Beckham shoot up the rankings because of the uncertainty if he's going to actually be the slot man or if he's going to be behind. Just the fact that his name is even getting mentioned again is kind of fun for a nostalgia feel. Not to mention, I could wear
Everything
hashtag
fell in his
win.
place, man. Everything fell in place. Braxton got cut. Hyatt is down to the practice squad. Austin got hurt. Everything just
Yeah.
lined up for him. You know.
And it does take a little bit of luck, just like you could say the same thing about winning a championship or, falling
Mhm,
short. It all is relative. But yeah, the
mhm.
Green Bay Packers definitely in a weird spot with that. Um, Last thought of the night, Kevin O'Connell, I think, is going to do a great job with Kyler Murray. I think he's going to
Yeah,
bring him into
back.
playing the best football of his career. And I think he's going to
So,
look unrecognizable in terms of his failures in Arizona. I think
hmm.
he helped DJ get his confidence back. DJ had a good year in Indy before the unfortunate injury. He got
Help
Sam
Sam
Darnold's
Darnold.
confidence back. Sam Darnold won
Hmm.
a Super Bowl, so I think he's the man to
Yeah,
do it.
yeah. I think with Kyler Murray, I think he'll do what they did to Mike Vick in Philly. I
Okay.
think even with Steve Young, they'll stop him from running all the time and teach him how to play in the pocket or how to
And
move
it's
the pocket.
funny how you talked about those two particular because
Mhm.
while me and you are both very discriminatory against left-handed quarterbacks for a litany of
Right.
for a litany of
Yeah.
football-related reasons,
Hmm.
the three guys that forever jump off the page when I think about really good lefties, one great one and two really good ones. Young would be great, Vic
Yep.
would be very, very good, and
Hmm.
Brunell would be super solid. Those are three that
Yeah.
I think about that played at a real high level in the NFL.
I'm gonna name you one
It's
more.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna name you one before your time. Jim Zorn, when he played for Seattle, he was a damn good lefty.
I forgot
Jim
about
Zorn
that.
was
Yeah,
good.
Zorn was a
Jim Zorn was
lefty.
good. Yeah.
But we appreciate you guys rocking with us. It's been a very trying week.
Yeah.
At the risk of do you care if I share? I want to ask you that
Yeah.
first.
No. Go ahead.
All right. I want to make one thing clear. Information is still being figured. Let's just say that. Uh,
Yeah.
but there was a tragedy in our family because Idris is family to me. Idris's son, unfortunately, was killed, and we are still gathering information. And of course, emotions are high. Emotions are low, also because it's a whirlwind. Grief is a whirlwind. Whirlwind.
Hmm.
But ultimately, we want to know what happened that fateful night, and we're going to do our best to find out. And we're going to keep
Hmm.
everyone in the know, but of course, to Idris's discretion, because he deserves that respect as his father. Truthfully, brother, it's an unfathomable loss, something that I can't wrap my head around, because although my Noah, who I love so very much, his mother and I didn't work out, I still very much consider him a son. So I couldn't even imagine what you're going through, Idris. But we spoke about it off air, and I'm thankful that we
Hmm.
did. Shouts out to Eric Paparock Perez, another guy that has dealt with tragedy recently. Thank you for the kind words, Eric. I know that you're thinking of Idris. Big ups to you.
Yeah.
Big ups to your
Yeah.
brother-in-law,
Appreciate it, sir.
Herb Campbell. We're gonna
Yeah.
his legacy alive here. You can bank on that. But times like this, it reminds you how important family is and how grateful we are for the people that really help us stand up when it's hard to stand. And as your co-host, as your little brother, as your pain in the ass nephew, you're a very strong dude, Idris, and I admire you
Mhm.
more than I could properly put into words.
Yeah. I would say to people, because in the end, me and my son didn't really speak, but we sent messages back to each other through other people saying how much we loved each other. We talked about each other like in a positive way. So we knew in the end that we loved each other. But I tell people, when you see a mother screaming and yelling because they lost their child, trust me, I'm a man. And when you lose a child, and you probably heard this before, but I'm telling you firsthand, when you lose a child, whether through violence or anything, just losing a child, it's a feeling that you never want to feel again. The only way you can deal with it is being around people. Because I tell Richie, I tell people, even when people are calling me all the time and texting me, and I tell them the same thing. I'm fine as long as I'm around someone. But when I have idle time where I'm laying down or in my car or taking a walk or whatever, that's when it hurts. Because I last night I want I don't want to bore people, but last night when we was at the resort, I sat over there by the lake and I just sat there and I looked into the sky and I just wanted to see my son's face. And I just kept saying, I just want to see you. I just want to see you tell me you're okay. And that's all I can. I just stared. I just said, I just want to see if you're okay. It's a feeling, people, that is undescribable. It's undescribable. You feel like everything is done in your life. You don't want to live no more. You're done. But like with guys like Richie and his mother and his stepfather and John Olsen and Kat and Brett Bandage and my friend Radonna Wright and Michael Hayes in Asheville, North Carolina. There's so many people who have rallied around me that I appreciate everybody. I appreciate everybody. So if I didn't say your name, I didn't say your name because I didn't want to say it. I didn't say your name because we're on the show. We only have but so much time. But you know who you are because I picked up the phone and I talked to you for an hour. I sent you a message because you sent me a message. I hit you on Facebook, whatever. So you know who you are. And when all this is over, when the storm clears, I'm going to make sure I list everybody, the whole roster of people who I guess came to my rescue. So
Yeah, it's been
I got y'all.
it's
Don't
been a
worry. I
wild
got y'all.
it's been a wild time. I had some personal
Mm-hmm.
things going on. Kind of definitely. I mean, even here we are at my
Mm-hmm.
mother's house.
That's what we're
You've been
here,
doing me
man.
a huge solid watching my dog,
Mm-hmm.
who you're not too friends with right now, but we'll fix that
Mm-hmm.
eventually. Um, just a lot of challenging things, and unfortunately, we heard about the tragedy with
Mm-hmm.
your son. That was like on some metrics a knockout blow to me, and I'm not trying in any way, shape, or form to make it about me because there's been a lot of stuff going on, and I just say it like that, you know. But
Right, right, right.
if there's
Understood.
anything to learn, is like, there's a lot to be thankful for when I think about the people that hold us up. You've held me up quite a few times over the last few years. I often tell you that in a lot of ways, yeah, you're my homie and all, you're my big bro, you're my uncle, but in a lot of ways, there's a legitimate respect level for you that of the way a son would admire a father. And, Idris, at the risk of sounding cheesy, you're a great man and you have all my respect and you have all
I
my support.
appreciate it. I appreciate it. And like I said, I'm here because how I said I was trying to find reasons not to come. Because I wanted to sit in the house and basically mope myself. To just feel like
And I
shit.
understand that because depression is
And
a real thing.
yeah, but I'm glad I came because it helped me a lot. And I tell anybody these are my closing words. If you love someone, whether you haven't spoken to the person but you love, pick up the phone and say, "Hey, I love you." Just say it to them because, like me, you don't know when that day is going to happen, and when it's gone, you can't say it, man. And I learned
Yeah,
my
no,
lesson. Even though my son knew it and heard it from other people that I talked about, I never got a chance to tell him myself. You know, so yeah.
yeah, no truer words like when Shaquille O'Neal shared that when
Hmm.
his heart was broken over the tragic loss of Kobe Bryant,
Kobe, yeah, yeah.
and yeah, it's important for us to be there for each other.
Hmm.
And to elaborate on your point, my my brother's wife, his beautiful wife Emily, lost her beautiful sister Vanessa some years back, and today at the body shop, her mama came over, and Jeanette's just a strong woman, and she has all my
Hmm.
respect too, because she has unfortunately dealt with the same loss as you, and
Hmm.
it's unfathomable, Idris. But
It
I know
is.
you're
It
strong,
is.
and I know that when this is all said and done, there will be peace found again for you because
Yeah.
uh, I know that you're going to hold up your end of what you need to discover with your family and with much support. And of course, we're going to keep everyone posted here as that
Right
becomes a
on.
thing because we might make a sharp turn left for a potential special guest. And not that we're trying to cash in on something horrific, but,
Right.
this could be anybody's son. And that's where I'm going
Yeah.
to leave it for now, if that's okay.
Yep. Yep.
For Idris, I am Richie. If you haven't already, please make it a point, like and subscribe to the channel, the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast on YouTube. Check out Big Pasco Productions on Bandcamp. That's bandcamp.com. As you can see, all the musical exploratory stuff that Idris has been putting to work. Idris is hip hop, and the boom bap era of hip hop is the greatest era of hip hop. Check out our friends at Casual Convo every Monday and Wednesday, 8 to 10 p.m. And the Basement Show with Mr. Nast, definitely a good show to always make sure you're checking out, as well as the Make It Count podcast with our brother out in Texas, Mr. Sneaky G, diehard Giants fan. So you and I go head-to-head week 1 in fantasy. We're going to do another bit of fantasy talk in the near future as well. But thank you for rocking with us. As always, we are the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast. And, we've been sending flowers for the better part of a couple of weeks now to, another contributor to hip hop who was gone too soon. So enjoy this video from Herbert Campbell, a.k.a. King Apocalypse. And you may be seeing his vocals on a future project from Idris, as these two were in contact about their music. So rest in peace, Herb. And that's all I got right now.
Nixon 5. Let's go.
Nixon 5. We out.
Even though there's no bad weather in here.
I'm old school cowabunga, up and down the strip, fuck the tourists all summer. Little black book full of hella hoes numbers. The motherfucking original bad bitch hunter came from hot winners, cops and block spinners. Old Huntersville with the dime sack winners. Blunt spillers, the puff givers. Years later, reminiscence still gives us shivers. The rhythm I deliver for my niggas, I'm uncanny. When I'm on stage, they rub titties and throw panties. A big punny should've won the Grammy in Miami. Big truck Jews with the skulls carved in the swammy. Hold my umbrella, twin, let me rain on this fella. Marinara sauce, I melt his mozzarella. The block dweller, the moldy seller, the weed seller. I still knock the glass slippers off Spinderella. Go together, I let her the hardest ledger. Y'all niggas forced to dump down, I get better and better. Till that thing squirt the bed wetter. Wheel up, selector, ease up and better.
Yeah, this is the best.
They're talking much up here. Oh, yes, they are.
No, they're not.
They are.
No, they're not.
They are.
No, they're not.
My mind symphonies on infinite epiphanies. Maintain liquor when around where the bitches be. Street ministry, I hold church here lyrically. I tell bars, I heal my scars spiritually. King tyranny, my reign was your misery. Pain on your brain, the strain was rap history. Let me find out, somebody chat about a victory. Brock with the Glock, little viciously. Freak them a pepper seed. I preach the word from a book they can never read.